Hello, my name is Kelly and I am here to help you stop paying for Adobe Illustrator and InDesign. Did you know that you can design all of your quilt patterns in Affinity Designer? And it's only a one-time cost instead of that ongoing subscription. No, I am not an affiliate. I wish I was because I love Affinity and it's awesome. But I do like spending money, and if you know me, I'm a quilter and I like spending my money on, well, sewing machines and fabric. Now, do you know who else thinks Affinity Designer is awesome? Canva, because Canva bought Affinity. So now today, as part of this series, I am going to show you exactly how to set up Affinity Designer for quilt pattern designing. We'll work in inches, we'll turn on the grids and snapping and save that custom template so you never have to set it up again. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is just click on File, New. Now we are going to create a whole new workspace, one specifically for quilt pattern designing. We are wanting to change the document units to inches because we love inches. Create a few artboards, but they specifically like block size. So depending on your preference of your blocks, I'm just going to do maybe create some 12 and a half inch blocks. Now this is just to start, so we're just doing, I guess, the most traditional unfinished block is a 12 and a half inch block. I'm keeping my DPI at 300. Color, we're just going to do a CMYK, change that. Margins and bleed, we really don't need to worry about that. So at the moment, we're just creating designs, patterns, possibly diagrams. We are not having a finished PDF product, so we don't need to worry about bleed or anything like that. And then just down here, we are create. Okay, so as you can see here, this will be a 12 by 12 inch artboard. So that's quite big. So what I'm now going to do is come down onto the zoom tool, which is the magnifying glass there. I'm clicking on that and I can go pull it down a bit. So this is my whole workspace at the moment. Up here, the little icons, this is actually the Affinity Designer icon. We have the pixel persona, and then we have the export persona. So exporting is just what you think. It's for exporting our items. So export in PNGs, and we would use the see-through background. But that's for later. So we'll go back for the pixel persona, just so you are actually aware. It's more for the photo part of anything that you need to do. I don't know really much about it, so we're not going to touch on pixel persona pretty much at all. So I just wanted to let you know those three workspaces are different workspaces within Designer. So if we click on the blue one, which is Designer, we're back at our artboard. Let's set up our workspace. Now, to make sure we have the right tools on our right hand side, we're going to set them up, and just under, we'll do that by clicking on Window, and let's do Transform. So there's actually a few we need to get in there. Stroke, click on Color, Layers, now for later we're going to click on swatches and symbols. So I'll go through that a little bit later, but not in this one. So the most important one we've got is Color, Stroke and Transform. That's what we'll be using in this one. So just for fun, let's have a look at stroke. At the moment it is 0. So we always want to stroke for an outline of anything we create, doing the patterns and the shapes and the blocks. So first thing, click on your stroke and put it as a 1. It's up to you if you want it a little bit bigger than that. I'm happy with 1 at this point. So that's that. That is our right hand side all set up. Now the other thing we're wanting to do is check our snapping. So up the top here we can see the magnet. The magnet, we are going to click on the magnet and make sure that everything snaps. So snapping just means that everything will click together if it gets close enough. I like everything snapped. Everything for me is snapped. Now if you know anything better, you do it your way. I do save this as a preset. So if you're wanting to save your Quilting Studio snapping preset, you can create a preset and then name it, save it. Because you can see here, this actually does have a grid. It's a 4x4 grid, and actually, let's see. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, 6.25 maybe segments. Now that is not ideal for us. What we need to do is make it more usable for us as quilters. So we would go to the view, we would go to grid and access. We are now going to go to advanced. We want to change the spacing to 1 inch, which we've got. We want to divide it. Now this is up to you. You can actually divide it into really defined eighths, or if you're wanting it to be, you know, up to 1/8 of an inch, because that's what it works in, or you can do it into quarters or fourths, which is more likely. You know, when you are actually doing your quilt patterns, you do want it to the quarter. You don't want to do, you know, 1/8, or, I mean, you may, especially if you're doing very intricate works, but I'm going to do it as divisions of 4. So we've got 1 inch spacing, divisions of 4, and can you see that that's actually changed that? I'm going to make it uniform, so it is 4 that way, 4 that way, and I'm closing that. Now that does actually also have its own preset. You can save that if you like. View, grids, I haven't actually done that, but I'm going to, you know what, because I'm going to do a quilting grid preset, and that's 1/4 inch. Create. Okay, so I've created the preset for my grid now, and as you can see there, it is quarters. So we've got 1 inch, 1/4. I think that's the easiest way to work that out. You've got your workspace, you've got your most important tools on the right hand side. We're not touching the left hand side, everything that is there is fine. We have popped our snapping on, so when we do actually make something, it's going to be great. And we have got our grid sorted to inches and 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so now we've got our tools, everything set up. So we want to save this as a preset. Window, Studio, we're going to add a preset, and we're going to call it Quilt Studio. Now I've already got one called that exists. This is actually better than one that exists, so I'm going to go yes. So it is now called a preset. What we need to do is just export this as a template, so we can reuse this and reuse this and reuse this. So I'm going to export this. This is actually a 12-inch block setup. That's what I'm saving it is. I actually have all my templates saving into my Affinity Designer on my iCloud. I'm calling this a 12-inch setup. We're pressing save. Now, what I'm now going to do is just close out of that. So I'm just going to say don't save, and I'm going to hope that that actually saved. Close all these down, and we'll just reopen it. So we'll open, and we're going to open new. On the left hand side here, there's templates. Now I need to find my template that has something to do with 12 inches. Oh, there it is, 12-inch block setup. I'll click on create. Do you see here, our tools did not come through. So we've got our artboard. We have a look at our snapping. So we can actually, it is on snapping. So that preset is automatically happened. Our grid has come through. How we get our tools on the right hand side is we click Window, Studio, Quilt Studio, and then all our tools that we have set up are ready to go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for hanging about. So that was today's lesson in the Affinity for Quilters series. Now that your workspace is set up, you're ready for the fun stuff. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a quilt mock-up. So this will be adding squares, sashing, borders, so you can start visualizing your quilt designs digitally. If this was helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and check out my free quilting resources. I've got a link down below. See you in the next one, I hope.